Hello again, everyone, and welcome to another edition of MRN Outloud. I'm Woody Cain. Ordinarily, at this time of year, we might be talking about the Catwalk for a Cause, the Martin Truax Jr. Foundation's annual charity fundraiser to help cancer patients. However, the pandemic postponed it or canceled it this year. There's a new effort underway. Sherry Pollex will be along to tell us about that. Later in the program, William Byron will join us. He holds right now the 16th and final spot for the playoffs as we head toward Daytona in the regular season finale. It's all ahead on this week's MRN Out Loud. Stay with us.
Citywide to countryside. Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires has the value, selection, and industry-leading warranty to get you there, no matter where the road takes you. Go to HerculesTire.com. There you can find the nearest authorized Hercules retail location to you. Plus, you can use the tire tracker to find out which Hercules tire fits your vehicle the best. That's HerculesTire.com. Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
September is Childhood and Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month, and we've got a special guest on the program to tell us more about a way you can help out with that effort. Sherry Pollex joins us from the Martin Truax Jr. Foundation, and she's Martin's longtime partner. Normally, Sherry, this time of year, we'd be talking about Catwalk for a Cause, but then the pandemic happened, and so we've all had to kind of readjust our lives. Foundations and charitable organizations are no exception, and you guys have come up with some creative ideas to make this thing happen. First of all, you would have had it back in May, so how did you get from there to here? It had to be a trying time.
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously with the pandemic, we've all had to kind of shift our lives and our focus a little bit on how we're gonna get creative and creating awareness and raising money for whatever our cause is. So for us, Childhood and Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month is in the month of September. It's always been a huge month for us. We normally lead into it with Catwalk sometime in May. But because of the pandemic, we haven't been able to do that. We've been super careful with the kids, just wanting to protect their health. And obviously we can't have 800 people in an airplane hangar right now, so that would be kind of difficult. So we've just had to come up with some unique ways to raise funding for the Martin Truax Jr. Foundation and Sherry Strong. And this program with the By the Driver's name above the door is just amazing. Lisa Backer, our foundation director, came up with it when we realized we couldn't run the Teal and Gold steering wheels. We normally have that program going on too. And the wheels come from Europe. So it makes it a little difficult.
The roadblocks wherever you turn.
That's right. So we've had to get really creative, and we partnered with the NASCAR Foundation to allow most of the, I think there's 42 drivers participating in the different series. So there's quite a few of them. And they've given up their name above their door, which is really cool. And then the fans can go on and bid to put the name of a cancer survivor or somebody that's currently fighting or has lost their battle, or even a medical hero that they want to honor in the medical industry, which is pretty amazing. For me, it's really cool, obviously, because I'm a cancer patient. So I'd love to see, the names of people that are fighting this disease. And I think it's going to be a really neat deal. I saw last night, Denny's car is already at like 6,000, which is amazing.
Wow, that is fantastic. Now,
7 more days.
Yeah, the deadline is rapidly approaching. You can go to NASCARFoundation.org/MTJF to find out more, or if you want to be a part of it. And then the payoff is going to be at Las Vegas. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, Las Vegas. So everybody that's bid on their driver's door will see the person whose name they want to honor above that driver's door, and then the driver will take a picture, just kind of pointing at the name or do something cool with the name while they're at the racetrack in Vegas, which I believe is our first playoff race, right? Or is that our second?
Second, I believe. The schedule's shifted so much, I'm having trouble keeping up.
It's so weird. Yeah. So what a great opportunity for us to just get pictures of all the guys. I mean, I wish we could be there, and I wish we could bring those survivors there that are still fighting, and we could take a picture with them next to the car. But because that's not possible, we're going to try to get a picture of every driver pointing at the name of the cancer hero they're honoring, and then have them autograph it and send it to whoever bid on it, which I think would be really cool. So it's going to be, it's a really cool program. We've really had to shift our focus, with no catwalk, and we have our karting event coming up in October, which we always get a ton of support from the NASCAR community. I know you guys have come out and covered it. Moody's been out there. That's a really cool event for us. And then we did these graphic t-shirts that, Martin and I came up with all these slogans for hunting and fishing, and we sold those, and we made $20,000 off of that. So we've just had to come up with some unique ways to bring in funding. And we'll continue to do that until this pandemic is over with and we can get back to our normal fundraising.
You've covered the how of what you had to do, but let's talk a little bit more specifically about the why, because the cancer patients are near and dear to your heart. As you mentioned, a two-time ovarian cancer survivor, but this originally kind of started off as a way to help children and then has kind of morphed, and it's really grown to individual hospitals. Tell folks who aren't as familiar with the Martin Truex Jr. Foundation about the specific work that you guys are doing now.
Yeah, I mean, originally when Martin and I started the foundation back in 2007, we really thought we wanted to just help children in need. We weren't really sure what we wanted to focus on. So at that time we were doing neglect and hunger and sexual abuse and we were doing oncology then as well. But as we started to visit the Children's Hospital in Charlotte, we really seemed to be drawn to that pediatric oncology floor. And we really had a connection with the kids. And so around that time, we started to focus most of our efforts at Levine Children's Hospital down in Charlotte. And also some other, hospitals around the United States that were helping kids battle pediatric cancer. And then as you know, in 2014, I was diagnosed with stage 3 ovarian cancer, and we had to shift our focus again and decided that we were really going to put half of our efforts towards pediatric cancer and the other half towards ovarian cancer. And what's super ironic about that is they're both, the month that we create awareness for both of those underfunded cancers happened to be in September. So there is a lot of irony in the fact that I ended up getting diagnosed with the same disease. And, I do think that God just had a plan for me all along. It's been really humbling and really, honestly, really an honor for me to be able to meet with the kids and know that I've been through the same thing that they've been through, and that I have that connection with them that nobody else really has unless they've been through this disease. And we have so much going on in Charlotte alone, but my prayer is that one day that it travels all over the United States and we can open up clinics all over. So we have a Martin Truex Jr. Pediatric emergency department going in at the Novant in Huntersville, which is really cool. For Martin to have his name on that. They were in dire need of a pediatric emergency center there. They were bringing kids in and they were sitting next to psych patients in the ER room, and it's scary for them. So we needed to have a peds unit, and that is going to be amazing. And we've had a ton of driver involvement there too, where they've bought the different rooms. So there's 9 different beds, and you can buy the rooms and you can decorate the room, which is really cool. And then we also have the Sherry Strong Integrative Oncology Clinic that's opening in the fall of 2020 at my hospital where I'm treated in Charlotte, which is amazing. So that's going to be really humbling for me to be able to walk in there and see my name on the wall. I've picked out everything, all the furniture, the paint colors on the walls, I really want it to be a place of hope and healing for cancer patients, and for them to come there and know that, I know it's a scary time in their life, and I know this disease is really scary, but that they're going to come there and leave with a tiny ounce of hope that they can beat it. And my plan is to open those clinics all over the country and be able to provide that type of care for people that can't afford it. And, it's one of the biggest roadblocks we run into with cancer care is that most people can't afford some of the alternative treatments and some of the things they need to do to support their bodies. So I want to be that person that can take care of that for them one day. And we're getting so close to being able to open a couple more across the country. So that's my hope for the future for our foundation. But it's definitely grown in the past 10 years, and it's amazing.
It's a sad thing to say that it's grown because the need is so great, but it's good that you're in there in the fight and trying to help. Do you ever battle sometimes the emotional side of it to where you think, my gosh, this program is just, or this problem is just so overwhelming. There's no way we can fix it with, let me help this kid and then this kid, the specific individuals.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think it's overwhelming. I mean, we're at a point now where we're seeing cancer so prevalent everywhere. You can't meet any family that's not affected by it. And I meet so many parents whose kids have gone through leukemia or different types of cancers, and it is very similar to like how I feel about the pandemic. It's just everywhere. And so at times I think it's daunting to think that, there's so much of it around us, and there's one of me and there's one of Martin, and we're just this little foundation. But, it only takes, you can throw a small rock in a lake, but you can create some big ripples. And I think that for us, it's just making a difference in our community right now, where we know we can make a difference and raise as much funding as we can through our platform with NASCAR, and then hopefully be able to one day make that nationwide. I mean, we've already done some things outside of the area that we live in, but, you can only take one step at a time and help one family at a time, which is what we focus on. Like, we got to start over here and help these kids at this children's hospital. And then we can move to the next hospital and help these kids. And as you do that, you gain momentum, and you gain funding from your sponsors and awareness through the sport that you love. And without the NASCAR fans and everybody supporting this sport, we wouldn't be where we are today, being able to help as many people as we can. So it's definitely a huge part of our life. And I think ultimately, Martin even realizes that at the end of the day, it's great to go win a race, and it's great to be a professional race car driver, but our purpose here on earth is to help other people and to do good on this earth before we leave. So I hope that's what he's remembered for, and not all the races he won.
Absolutely, 100%. You mentioned the pandemic, and I imagine that had to be a scary time. You mentioned you didn't want to be around the kids because when they're getting treated for cancer, and this as well, the immune system is compromised. How challenging of a time was that for you? And I'm sure for Martin as well, to think, my gosh, I don't want to be that guy who brings it home.
Yeah, well, it was a really scary time for us. So back in March, when the pandemic first hit, we were actually in Florida at our place there, and we were actually kind of put on house arrest from my doctor. So we were told not to really go anywhere or do anything. We were a little nervous about me contracting it, obviously, because of my compromised immune system and the fact that I do still take an oral chemo every day. So I've had to be careful, for sure. I mean, I think that anytime you come into a cancer patient's home, we're careful every day. So when everybody started talking about wiping down their counters and their groceries and washing their hands 100 times a day, that's our normal. We do that every day anyway.
I thought we were the only one doing the groceries thing, and my wife and I were like, are we really doing this? But you don't know what to expect.
That's right. We do it too. And I mean, I think, for us, like that's our everyday life. We've sort of been living that life for the past 6 years, because I've been on and off in treatment that whole time. So we don't really know any different. We're really careful because Martin's around so many people at the racetrack. He washes his hands a ton, and we take a lot of precautions anyway. So the pandemic wasn't really that different for us. Other than that, he wasn't racing, and we had a lot of time on our hands, which was amazing for us, because we never get to do that. We never get to spend that time together with our families. And so we enjoyed that part of it, but at the same time, we were hurting for everybody else that was hurting, and all the people that were struggling with this pandemic. And even now, with him being back at the racetrack, we have to be really careful. Even though he goes straight to the bus and goes right to the car, at some point in that time, you could still be infected or still touch something that somebody else has touched. So he's definitely probably overly cautious compared to the other drivers, but we do a really good job in our house of trying to keep a germ-free environment. So we're pretty used to it by now.
Yeah, it's kind of a different world now that we're all living through and figuring our way out in. I wanted to ask you about the sherrystrong.org, to tell folks what is a little different there versus the Martin Truex Jr. Foundation.
Well, when I got sick, honestly, the whole Sherry Strong movement started just with the fans. I mean, they started to send me messages on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, and they would always hashtag Sherry Strong, and it just kind of became this movement. And at the time, our director said, wow, why don't we just create a website, sherrystrong.org, and start to download all of your thoughts onto that website, like everything you've been through and you've had to learn on your own. I did a ton of research on my disease, and a lot of research on how to take care of my body through cancer, and how to fight my illness, knowing that I was up against something that was going to be really difficult to beat. And I think that for me, sherrystrong.org is just an amazing resource for all cancer patients to be able to go to learn about how to take care of their bodies, learn about how to, what questions to ask your oncologist when you're diagnosed, what to do, what is life like after cancer, what is life like when you have to shave your head and, you're a woman and you don't have any hair all of a sudden and you have to go out and buy a wig. And there's so many things to think about. So it's sort of, there's blog posts on there with my brain downloaded. There's a lot of resources on there from guest bloggers, from people that are talking about things that cancer patients can do to take care of their bodies. It's just become a really cool resource for all different types of cancers, not just ovarian cancer. And we get hits from all over the world. We get people from Hungary and Germany and all these different places that visit our website. And it's really amazing. So sherrystrong.org is still a part of the Martin Truex Jr. Foundation. It's just, it's just a different resource. And we like to use it for all different kinds of cancer patients. And we have a lot of parents that use it as well for their kids. So it's been really cool for me. It's been awesome. And I have all kinds of Sherry Strong social media. So I'm always on there sharing healthy recipes and things that I do every day to fight my illness. And my hope is that people wake up and just feel inspired to be a better person and to take care of their health and to put themselves first when they visit my pages. And I hope that's what they do.
Wow. Well, we certainly appreciate all the work that you're doing. And with this effort in particular, once again, it's NASCARfoundation.org/MTJF to get involved in the Nominate a Cancer Hero program. And you can be on the driver's door, above the driver's door, when they race coming up at Las Vegas in September. Sherry, we really appreciate your time. Congratulations on the work that you guys are doing and figuring out a way to make all this happen with a pandemic going on.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
You appreciate it. There you go. Sherry Pollex has been with us here on the program.
Sir, are you aware you were going 40 miles an hour? This is a residential area.
Sure, but I'm on my lawnmower? Wait, am I getting a ticket?
No, I've just never seen anyone top 9 miles an hour on one of those bad boys. And mow their entire lawn in 30 seconds? What got into you?
Well, it did fuel up at Sunoco this morning.
At Sunoco, we know how to fuel peak performance. We've been doing it for American racing for over 50 years. Fuel your best.
Welcome back to MRN Out Loud. We wanted to finish up this week's show with the guy holding down the 16th and final playoff spot as we roll into Daytona International Speedway for Saturday night's Coke Zero Sugar 400. The regular season finale will determine who makes it and who doesn't. So I asked William Byron, is it a little uncomfortable going to a super speedway as the deciding race?
It's going to be a very difficult challenge. I think that you've got to expect going in there that things aren't going to go your way, and hopefully they do. So, it's just it's one of those things where you just have to go in with low expectations, try to race as hard as you can, and hopefully you're on the good side of things. So I don't really know what to expect right now, but going in there, I'm excited, and hopefully we can have a good run.
Some guys have said, I want to ride around in the back and not worry about the big one that's coming. Some guys have said, I'd rather be out front and run away and make everybody chase me. Do you have a strategy for a place like that, or is it just kind of take things as they come?
Yeah, it's definitely kind of accepted as it happens. I think that, we've seen certain guys be really able to be aggressive lately on the speedway races and have cars that are able to do that. So it's going to be a challenge, but hopefully we've got a car that we're able to maneuver well and keep straight and be aggressive. So not sure what to expect, but hopefully that's what we have.
All right. Well, William, we thank you for your time and good luck for this playoff battle coming down the stretch.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, that's all the time we've got on this edition of MRN Out Loud. We want to thank Sherry Pollex for joining us to talk about the Nominate a Cancer Hero program, and William Byron to break down the Daytona race coming up, the regular season finale, the Coke Zero Sugar 400 Saturday night on the Motor Racing Network. Until next week, I'm Woody Cain.